Hey friends, Emily from Blooming Wand here, and I have a special announcement today. I've been working on something that I've always wanted to do but felt too overwhelmed to do. Raise your hand if you've ever had an idea but thought you couldn't bring it to fruition and got really overwhelmed. Me, I'm raising my hand. So, I've always wanted to create an oracle deck. And I didn't really know what that meant, and I didn't know what that would look like, but I thought, I really want to do that someday. And just in the last, I think it was in July, I don't know where this came from. This happens to me all the time. I'll just all of a sudden know exactly how to do something out of nowhere. And this was one of those times I woke up, came in here to work, and all of a sudden I knew exactly what I wanted to do for this Oracle deck. I knew how I wanted to organize it. I knew what images I wanted to use, what words, what messages, kind of the look and feel, but not 100%, but I would say I was about 85% there on the look and feel. And so I just, in like a day, sat down and wrote it all out. And I was like, wow, this is ready to come into the world. And I thought, well, shoot, I don't really know how I'm going to put this together. It became clear to me I don't really have the software to do that, at least to the quality that I want to. Because if I'm going to put my name on something, I really want it to be of good quality. And I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but then I found my friend and partner in crime in terms of creating this deck, Chantel Davis Gray. And she's an amazing website designer for those of you that use Squarespace websites, but she's also a card deck designer. So we were able to combine our superpowers together. I knew exactly what I wanted, and um, she was able to, put it into the format and put it all together for me. And we whipped this thing out in a week. Like it was done and ready into the printer in about a week, which was shocking to me, but she's so easy to work with. She was an amazing team member on this. And she brought my vision, she helped me to bring my vision into reality. And one of the things I want to say is, I always say in the podcasts and on our YouTube channel when we're talking about self care and spiritual topics that we can do a lot alone, but we don't need to do everything alone. And I tend to be a lone wolf. Like, I do my podcast alone, and I'm writing my newsletter, and I'm working one on one with clients. A lot of what I do, it's collaborative in that I'm connecting with spirit and working with my clients and working within the Blooming One community, but I don't often collaborate with other people to create things. And but I know that there's value in that. And I knew that this was a project where that was something that would benefit me. And it really, really did. And I just really appreciate having found Chantel to have that designer eye on making sure everything looked and felt the way that it needed to. And she pointed out some really important things that I wouldn't have seen or understood, but she's made lots of decks. She's helped people with this many times, and she knows how the eye works and how to draw people in with design and stuff like that in ways that, I mean, I've studied art, right? I would call myself an artist and a creator, but I think a designer implies a slightly different skill, because you're trying to communicate something in a specific way visually, usually to a product that you're going to sell. Not always, but sometimes. And I knew that this was something that would potentially sit on a shelf in a store and that it needed to attract the eye. And that's where I really feel like her expertise shown was when helping me design the box in particular for this Oracle deck. So it's been a long time coming. I have had so many of you all asking me, like, how come we haven't made a tarot or oracle deck yet? It seems like something you should do. And I was like, I know. It is something I feel called to do. Just was waiting for the time to be right, waiting for that inspiration and to strike. I am a person where I'll just get these big downloads and then all of a sudden do something and people are like, "Where did that come from?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but here it is." And that was the case with this Oracle deck. So I want to show it to you and give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into the Blooming Wand Oracle deck. So I'm going to show it to you here, and then I'm going to do an overhead view so you can kind of get a look at just the deck and not my talking head. So here is the Blooming Wand Elemental Wisdom Oracle deck. And let's dive into what's contained in here, what it looks like, the booklet, and all the good stuff. All right, so here's your first look at the Blooming Wand Elemental Wisdom Oracle deck. When you guys purchase your deck, yours is going to be shrink wrapped, which leads me to tell you that this is not plastic. It's made, I actually don't know exactly what it's made of, but the printer that I used, which is Greener Printer, is an eco-friendly printing company. And it was really important to me to work with a company that was eco-friendly. Blooming Wand is all about connecting with nature. We talk about that all the time, and how connection with nature often fosters connection to self and to our intuitive abilities and to our intuition. So to stay in alignment with those values, it was important to me to create a product that was eco-friendly. And so Greener Printer helped me do that. So it's shrink wrapped, but it's not in plastic. It's whatever it is. I can't remember. I know I should. But it's biodegradable. And so here you have your box with Blooming Wand Elemental Wisdom, a 52 card deck and guidebook. It's really pretty. It's got the back where you get some pictures of the cards. You can learn a little bit more about the deck, which it's really about helping you connect with your intuition. I wanted it to be clean and simple and easy to use, and just so that anybody could use it, which is why I leaned on nature photography and nature images. So you're going to open it up, really pretty purple. Inside you have your booklet here. So one of the things is in your booklet, you're going to have an introduction on how to use the deck and a connection prayer for those of you who want to kind of engage more of a ritual as you begin to draw cards or use this oracle deck. I really like the idea of adding a little connection prayer in there. It's also designed to be used for facilitators and teachers, retreat leaders, or for your sacred circles. We talk a little bit about the deck design here, which it's basically connected to 5 different categories: air, earth, water, fire, spirit, and then an extra special 2 cards under the category of magic. There's 10 cards in each, except for the magic, there's 2. And then it's going to go alphabetically: air category, and then earth, water, fire, and so you can read what kind of the theme for air is. You've got your air symbol here. And then you've got your card title. And then for each card, you have an intuitive development, a reflection, an affirmation, an evidence check, and then an Emily's Insight. So it's a pretty comprehensive booklet. I think it really, the cards stand on their own. You may or may not choose to use the booklet. I think that's totally fine. But if you want to go deeper, I think the booklet really helps you to do that. So here we have the cards, that beautiful back. And so you're going to get your elemental symbol here, and they're color coordinated. When you unpack this, all of the colors are going to be together, but I've been playing with this deck a lot. So for example, we have cleanse, wash away what weighs upon your spirit for the water element. And then this create is fire, that red. And then we have for spirit this sort of, it's kind of like a dusty rose or pink. And then for the air element, it's this green. Now you'll recognize that this green and this green are Blooming Wand greens. If you get the newsletter or look at anything, those are the colors that I always use. So it's kind of on brand for me. And then you have the earth element, which is this kind of darker green, olivey green. And that, and then you have your one of the magic cards, I think, is right here. And those of you that are clients with me, you're going to, I keep tilting this the wrong way because I'm not used to recording this way, but some of these are going to represent you. This deck is inspired by the people and the clients that I work with, and you know that I'm always incorporating nature into our work, and so you can see that's clearly expressed here. And so why don't I just pull us a card and you can see how this deck likes to work. It's, like I said, it's clean, simple design, very much kind of intended to help you with a grounded spiritual practice around pulling oracle cards. I'm just going to do this. Let's see. Ooh. All right. Courage. Gosh, I'm feeling a lot of courage in bringing this into the world right now. It's taken a lot of courage for me to do this. Step boldly into your authentic power. Whew. So I'm going to go ahead and look up some things in the guidebook for courage. There it is. So our message around courage is stand in a power pose for 30 seconds and notice how your inner fire responds. One of my favorite power poses is goddess squat, so I'll do that later after this video is done and kind of feel into my power that way. Another power pose I like, this is cracking me up because I do this all the time, is I'll stand outside with my arms above my head kind of in like a V and my legs spread wide, and I'll just take big breaths in and look at the sky and just like draw in the power of nature. So I'm resonating with this message. Reflection, what brave action have you been avoiding that would serve your growth? Well, I can tell you one thing. I haven't been avoiding launching this deck, but I've certainly been taking my time with it because it's a big deal to me, and there's a little bit of fear around it and excitement. The launch will be October 15th, the hard launch, where you can buy it from the Blooming One shop at bloomingone.com. And here's my affirmation. I am becoming more brave, bold, and capable of facing challenges with grace. I feel that. And evidence check. Recall a time when you acted despite fear and it led to positive outcomes. This is proof of your innate courage. Well, I feel like right now I'm doing that, acting, moving forward despite some fear. And I do feel like this will lead to positive outcomes, but to be determined. And then Emily's insight. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Oh my God. I feel that. It's feeling the fear and choosing to love anyway. This card helps you reframe fear as excitement and growth rather than a reason to stay small, while also honoring that building courage is a gradual process. So I obviously wrote the booklet, but I have to say when I'm using this, even though I made it, it kind of just, I'm into it. I feel really connected to it, obviously, because I made it, but even though I wrote it, I almost feel like somebody else made it. I don't know if those of you that have made things ever have that feeling where it comes out of you and you put it into the world and then you're like, did I do that? I'm kind of having one of those moments right now. So here's your sneak peek into the deck. I hope that you liked it. And one of the things that I really want to point out is that I didn't get thousands of these printed or created. I don't have a publisher. So this is very much kind of a grassroots, self-published type of a thing. So the price point is going to be higher, and I'm the one that's going to be shipping out all your packages. And hopefully, if this is really popular, I'll be able to get higher volumes printed. But I just want to say, like, this is something I'm bringing into the world on my own. Obviously, Chantel helped me put it together and, you know, get the cards like put together and whatnot. But when card deck designers and creators do this, a lot of times it costs money, right? And initial prints don't make a ton of money. Like, this isn't going to make me money right off the bat. Hopefully I can cover my costs, and that might seem like, oh, Emily, you're revealing too much, but I want to be transparent and honest about the creative process and putting some of these things into the world. If I could get around to and print a higher volume, and if this were to become popular and well known, and lots of people liking it and buying it, then it could be a real game changer for me. But in the meantime, I want it to go to the Blooming Wand community. I feel like it's a wonderful tool for our self care and spiritual practices. It's really in alignment with what I try to bring to sessions, grounded and ethical spiritual practices. And you could see how pulling that courage card was really affirming for my experience. And that's what I'm hoping that these will do for you, is affirm your experience, uplift you, connect you to your intuition. That's one of the primary goals of this deck, is to help you develop your intuitive abilities, connecting to your inner knowing. And I think one of the ways that we can do that is by using these cards, and the evidence check is really supposed to help with that. So noticing what's moving through your life as you're working with themes from the cards is a way to validate that that what you're experiencing. And I know that that's something that's been really important for my spiritual practice. So look forward to seeing this on October 15th. You can purchase it at bloomingwand.com. Click explore and go to the Blooming Wand shop, and she'll be right there waiting for you. And I will hand package and send this to you with so much love. And I just want to thank my community for all of the support. This has been a long time coming. It's almost here. Thank you for everything, and I will be seeing you soon.